Hi INFJs, welcome back to my channel. If you'd met me a few years ago, you probably would have described me as a very intense, people-pleasing mute ghost. Best way I could describe myself. Terrified of trying, constantly second-guessing myself, pretty sure there was something seriously wrong with me, so I was constantly looking for that answer to fix myself so I wasn't so weird. Now, fast forward quite a few years, I'm still scared. Not going to deny that, but I use that fear as fuel instead of hiding behind it. I don't panic or beat myself up, not near as much as I used to when people misunderstand me. Actually, I do it very seldom now. And I actually started getting curious about life instead of trying to hide from it all the time. And today I want to share 5 simple, easy mindset shifts that help me get from constantly feeling like I was failing at a human being to finally starting to feel free and enjoy my life and find my purpose as a neurodivergent INFJ. And if any one of these shifts lands with you the way it did with me, I truly believe it will change everything for you because it did for me. So if you're new to my channel, welcome. My name's Trina. I'm an INFJ and I'm also autistic. I help people like myself understand who they are and gain a level of self-love through coaching classes and community. I lived a long time, most of my life, absolutely despising who I was to the point where I couldn't look in the mirror, and I don't want that for other people, so I love to help and show up with these crazy videos. If you're returning to my channel, I'm glad you came back. I hope you find it really helpful. If you haven't yet, I invite you to like this video and subscribe to my channel. I would appreciate the support. That helps me be able to come back and do these crazy videos for you. And like I said, I love doing them. Okay, let's get into this. Before we dive into the 5 shifts that I want to share with you, I just want to say this because it took me way too long to figure this out. I mean, it takes me a long time to figure a lot of things out. I'm what you'd call a late bloomer, but this is one thing that took me way too long, and it's quite simple. If your mindset is working against you, it doesn't matter how much healing you've done, how many books you've read, or how many routines you follow, like how many bad habits you're trying to kick and replace with good habits, you're still going to feel stuck. You're still going to feel like you're failing, and you're still going to beat yourself up about it. As an INFJ, especially if you're neurodivergent, our minds are constantly going. They don't stop like ever. So if we don't learn to shift the way we think about ourselves, our fear, our needs, we end up trying to heal with that same mindset that got us hurt. And that just doesn't work. It's not going to work. So let's jump into these simple shifts that actually made a huge difference for me. And no, none of them involve manifesting a latte or journaling yourself into enlightenment. It's nothing like that. So the first shift that made a huge difference, changed everything for my life, and yes, I'm going to fumble on words today. Words are very hard, is masking isn't my personality. It's a nervous system survival strategy. If you've been watching my videos for a while, you know that I talk about masking a lot. And I do this because it's a very serious topic for INFJs, the INFJ community. And lots of INFJs don't think that they mask. I was one of them. And once I realized what it was, it changed everything. So I used to think that I was a nice person. I was just agreeable, adaptable, easygoing, trying to be normal, fit in, right? Wanted people to like me. Turns out I was deeply disconnected from myself. There was no connection there at all. This shift helped me start peeling back the mask. And that's when I finally started to feel like myself. I finally got to know who I was. I finally started enjoying life and doing things that brought me so much passion. My life changed in ways like I stopped judging myself from feeling so drained all the time. I used to judge myself over that because I couldn't go and be social. I couldn't do what all these normal people are doing. What's wrong with me? I stopped feeling broken. And I stopped looking for that fix all the time, right? I needed something to fix me. Where is it? Where's the answer? I realized I was just burnt. drastically burnt from pretending all the time. It also helped me reduce people-pleasing tendencies, which was huge, because if you remember in the opening of this, when I said, how would you describe me? An intense people pleaser, that was totally me. And I gained self-compassion, a huge level of self-compassion, which was huge for me because, like I said, I hated who I was. I had no self-compassion at all. I was the meanest person to myself. The second mindset shift that changed my life was, I don't need to do this alone. I used to think I had to. I was all by myself. I was so good at isolating. For the longest time, I thought if I just worked harder on myself, if I just read more books, if I just learned how to meditate, by that, it took me 17 years to learn how to meditate. Actually, I think it was longer than 17 years. But anyway, if I did more shadow work, if I journaled more, journaled till the cows come home, figured out what was wrong with me, then I'd finally feel okay. But here's the truth. Healing doesn't happen in isolation. That was the key, because I did all of that on my own. That was all by myself. Doesn't happen in isolation, especially for INFJs, but more importantly, if you're neurodivergent. Being alone too much can actually reinforce the belief that you don't belong. And when I say especially for neurodivergent, because I find through life and talking to other neurodivergent INFJs, we tend to isolate a lot more than the neurotypical INFJ, which I find very interesting. I don't know why that is, but I find interesting. The truth is, we need the right kind of connection, not just the surface level stuff, but the real spaces where we can take off the mask and fully be seen and feel safe doing it, so that we can relax in our own body and get to know who we are and what we like, so we can find that passion. That's why I created Divergence Rising. It's not a coaching group. It's not a self-help lecture group. It's an off-social community that I built specifically for INFJs and neurodivergent INFJs who are learning to be fully themselves together. We support each other. If you're interested in this, the link is in the description of this video. The third mindset shift that changed my life as a neurodivergent INFJ is, I'm not too sensitive, I'm deeply attuned. This was a big one too. I'm going to say that about all the mindset, all these shifts. They're all huge for me. Growing up, I thought that my sensitivity was a weakness. In fact, I was told that. I was called sissy, a crybaby. I had certain people in my life that would point out when other kids were showing their feelings, when they cried when they got hurt, or when something upset them, they voiced it. And certain people in my life would be like, oh, they're bad. That's just being a drama queen. And it taught me that sensitivity is what's going to get you pushed away. So I thought that it was a weakness. It was something that I hated about myself, and I tried to get rid of it. But you know what? As an INFJ, a highly sensitive one, that's not ever going to happen. So now I see my sensitivity as a kind of a super sense. It's one of my superpowers. In fact, it's something about myself that I absolutely love, because I lean into it a lot now. I don't need to toughen up. I never did. I needed to learn how to protect my nervous system and honor it. That was key, and I'll repeat that. I needed to learn how to protect my nervous system and honor it. So I stopped having to push through. Once I did this, I stopped having to push through overwhelm, and I felt less burnt out because I created a sensory-friendly environment for myself. And this is actually one of my values. Yeah, I'm going to call it a value. I am very strict on the environment that I'm around because I know how this will impact how I show up in my life. I was able to start trusting my gut feelings, which is huge because that's being connected to my intuition. We're an intuitive personality type. When we're disconnected from our intuition, it's like we've lost our compass and we feel very lost and indecisive and constantly searching for that purpose. But when I started leaning into my sensitivity and accepting who I was able to start trusting that gut feeling and connect into my intuition. But most importantly, I stopped apologizing for basically being me, which was a big thing for me. The fourth mindset shift that changed everything for me as a neurodivergent INFJ is fear isn't a stop sign. I can still move on with it. I can move through. For years, I believed that fear meant I couldn't do it. And I wouldn't do it. If I got scared, and let me tell you, I was scared all the ever-loving time. I was scared just going into a grocery store. Sometimes I still am. I'm going to totally admit it if it's really busy in there, because I know that it's going to send me into a spiral. Anyway, so fear controlled my life. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't take risks. I wouldn't apply for that job that I really wanted. I wouldn't go on holidays because that was very scary for me. I wouldn't really leave my house if I didn't have to, because that was my safe spot. But you know what? That got me staying in the same spot all the time. I never moved out of that zone. So I stayed in the same spot all the time, not ever living the life that I wanted. I was constantly searching for purpose, thinking there had to be more, questioning what was wrong with me because I seen other people living their great life and having passion for what they did. And here I was in a job I absolutely hated and super confused, and I couldn't figure out what was I doing wrong. Now I know that fear is just my nervous system alerting me. That's all it is. It's not my prophecy. It's not a prophecy at all. I can be scared and still move toward what matters. In fact, I let fear guide me now. Remember I said I use fear as leverage, as fuel? This is how I do it. When I start to feel that fear, then I know that I am venturing out of my comfort zone, and I get very excited and curious. Yep, the fear's still there. I know it's going to be there and I can pack it with me, but I don't need to let it control me. But I do know stepping out of my comfort zone, I'm going to grow and opportunities are going to come and things are going to get really exciting. So that's what I do. I let it fuel me. Number 5, the fifth mindset shift is rest isn't laziness, rest isn't laziness, pausing isn't quitting. It's crazy that I had to learn this, but I did. I used to spiral with guilt anytime I needed to rest, meaning I couldn't be more social. So there's no way I'm going to go out Friday night or Saturday night or whatever it is. I couldn't clean more house. I couldn't do more yard chores. I just couldn't do more of those things that I found tedious and somewhat pointless. Do you guys find those things pointless? They're a little off topic here, but did you know that a lot of INFJs have a hard time with housework because we find it pointless? Because it's just going to get dirty again. So I really struggled with that. But I really like my house clean, so there's that. So I would beat myself up about it because I seen other people being able to juggle the job and the family and keep up on everything. And I was always dangling on the edge of burnout and feeling horrible. I was like that all the time. It was really horrible. I don't even know if I can find words to describe how I felt. It was like teetering on the edge of burnout all the time. And when I did give myself time to rest, I would beat myself up about it because I wasn't being productive and you were being lazy, Trina, and what are you doing? You're pathetic, and all those nasty things I would say to myself. But now it took me a massive burnout, probably the biggest burnout I've ever endured, to discover this. Now I see that I need stillness to hear my own thoughts, to recharge my own energy. And I also understand that my energy isn't meant to run like everyone else's, and that's completely okay. So if I don't feel like getting on my hands and knees and scrubbing my kitchen floor with a toothbrush like I know some other people do, it's okay. The world's still going to spin and life is still going to go on, and I don't have to beat myself up about it. These mindset shifts didn't turn me into something new. They helped me come home to myself, to who I already was. If any part of you is craving space to explore this in a way that feels safe, seen, and understood, remember you're always welcome in my community, Divergence Rising. The link, if you want to learn more about it, is in the description of this video. I hope this video was helpful. I truly do. I love sharing things that made a huge impact on my life, and all 5 of these things truly do. Let me know in the comments if you resonate with any of these, or if you have a mindset shift that you found really changed things for you. I'd love to share, for you to share it in the comments so that we can help each other grow, because that's amazing when that happens. Thanks for joining me. My next video is INFJs who have done all the work but still feel stuck. That's what we're talking about in my next video, and I hope I see you there. Again, thanks for joining me. I invite you to like this video, feel free to share it, and subscribe to my channel. I'd appreciate the support. Thanks again, and I'll see you soon. Bye for now.